Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. We're gonna talk about Adult Swim and the Venture Brothers. It has been canceled. Very, very sad news. Easily one of the best shows that Cartoon Network has ever produced, and it is no more. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about the potential consolidation of all of WarnerMedia's cartoon entities, including Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Elation, all of that, and how it seems like this great conjunction might be happening sooner rather than later. Before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants if you have not done so already. It definitely helps the channel out, guys. We're cruising toward 150,000 subs. Thank you for the continued support. So this is kind of a buzzkill. We had people reach out to us yesterday on Labor Day telling us about the cancellation of the Venture Brothers at Adult Swim, and this show's been on forever. It's been on for 17 years. I didn't know how long it's been on, but I remember watching it with Squid King when he was very, very little, when he was a baby even. We would wake up in the middle of the night and take the kids out to the living room if they woke up in the middle of the night, and usually we would watch Adult Swim, me and Geeky, and it was usually Venture Brothers or Inuyasha or something like that was on. I think the Big O was in reruns back then, if I remember. So this show has been a staple of Adult Swim for quite some time. To see it go is a bummer, but there were only 7 seasons, 81 episodes in 17 years. So this is coming from Variety. The Venture Brothers has been canceled by Adult Swim after 7 seasons, creator Christopher McCulloch announced on Twitter on Monday. McCulloch said he and the writers had been in the middle of writing season 8 when they received the news a few months ago the show would not be returning to air. This sounds like an AT&T decision. Unfortunately, it's true. Venture Brothers has been canceled. We got the highly disappointing news a few months ago while we were writing what would have been season 8. We thank you, our amazing fans, for 17 years of your kind and patient attention, and as always, we love you, wrote McCulloch, who uses the pseudonym Jackson Public on the show and on Twitter. When contacted by Variety, Adult Swim said it was looking for a way to continue the story with McCulloch and co-writer Doc Hammer. We also want more Venture Brothers and have been working with Jackson Public and Doc Hammer to find another way to continue the Venture Brothers story, Adult Swim said in a statement. Sources tell Variety that one possible avenue to continue the series would be moving it to HBO Max. That possibility is being discussed, but is still far from becoming a reality. This is where it seems like AT&T and WarnerMedia is moving all of their adult animation properties. HBO Max is archiving a lot of the Adult Swim content. A lot of the new shows like Close Enough are premiering on HBO Max in their continuing Adventure Time. So it does make sense that they would, possibly push it over to HBO Max, maybe as a movie event or, just a final season or something. It depends on whether or not the money is there. And we're going to talk about Primal too. Primal has actually been renewed. So the show is one of the longest running original series on Adult Swim, spanning 7 seasons over 17 years. The pilot episode aired on Adult Swim in 2003 and the first season premiered in 2004. Fans typically had to wait between 2 and 3 years between seasons, and the final one ended in 2018. Yeah, I kind of thought it was already done. I'll be honest, I thought they kind of already sunset the show. They just never gave a formal announcement that it was going to end. The adult animated cartoon spoofed many superhero and pop culture tropes, and the main characters were a riff on the Johnny Quest crew. Yet what is not canceled is Primal. Primal is actually getting a second season on Adult Swim. So it did get picked up. It won a bunch of Emmys. A pretty good show. What I've seen of it, I need to actually sit down and watch it the whole way through, which I haven't done. But it really gives off like old Hanna-Barbera, Alex Toth vibes. I think it's kind of cool. Visually, it's a very, very cool show. It is getting a second season. So they're still making content for Adult Swim, and we know that Tuca and Birdie has gotten picked up by Adult Swim after Netflix dropped it, which is weird that Netflix is dropping shows because they're really ramping up their animated content. They have another movie coming out from Glenn Keane, Disney's Glenn Keane, coming out at the end of October. So Netflix is going all in on animation, but they dropped Tuca and Birdie, which is kind of weird. Maybe it's because they had to pay for that one. I don't know how that works. But now, bear in mind, guys, that all of this is kind of contingent on what's going on with coronavirus and the shutdowns and the lack of money, and the fact that AT&T seems to be changing its plans almost daily as to what it's going to do, because it is losing money. It's massively in debt, and it's looking to just, consolidate and cut as much as they can. In fact, there's been talk about selling Crunchyroll. Now the plan I had heard, and I want to talk about this. The plan I had heard last year before Corona was that WarnerMedia was looking to consolidate most of its animation under one roof, that they were looking to consolidate Adult Swim and Cartoon Network and Toonami and Rooster Teeth and Elation and all of that under basically one Cartoon Network brand, one Cartoon Network umbrella, because the people at the top at Warner Brothers, or WarnerMedia rather, did not feel that having umpteen different animation studios really served any purpose, and they were at that point trying to get ready for HBO Max, just to produce animated content for HBO Max. But we're also seeing that they're moving production of some Rooster Teeth shows to California. Like the Netflix Transformers series is being produced in California, not in Texas. So someone tagged me in here. This would be Doll Life Dan, tagged me in on this tweet by Magna Galena. Apparently, Adult Swim animation is now made inside Cartoon Network. And I wonder what that means for William Street's productions. William Street being the studio in Atlanta where a lot of the adult, or at one point most of the Adult Swim content was being produced. This isn't only about Venture Brothers being cut, but about animation being pushed to centralized California once again. William Street having studios in Atlanta was a big deal. But yeah, so we've been saying this based on information we've gotten from people close to Warner Brothers. It's been months since I've talked to these sources. I don't know exactly, if things have changed or not. I was just, kind of letting you guys know what we were hearing. And the plan as of last year was to streamline the animation. Now, animation has become incredibly important now because of Corona, because of the fact that you can still produce animated series and movies via social distancing. You can have people working from home, working in other countries. You don't have to have them all in one place, filming a live action show. So animation is becoming more and more important. But as I understand it, WarnerMedia was looking to consolidate all of its cartoon content, animation content, and that was before COVID, before the pandemic. They were also rumored to be looking at just rolling Crunchyroll into HBO Max, making it a tab, right here. Crunchyroll collection right here on HBO Max, and just having Crunchyroll be the anime brand, I guess, that would be on HBO Max, not its own streaming service. Now we're hearing that they're looking at selling it, possibly to Sony. So the pandemic is definitely changing things, but I think it's also going to escalate any major changes at the studios. I think it's going to, hasten the demise of divisions that were maybe, they were kind of on the fence about whether or not they should keep them around or consolidate them or whatever. And I think it's definitely going to speed things up. So if the plan is to roll all of the William Street productions into just Cartoon Network proper and run them out of California, that could be a very likely scenario now, that the resources aren't there to have, umpteen different buildings and staffs all over the country. But why you'd want to consolidate in California, at this point when it's in lockdown, is beyond me. So people were talking to Magna Galena, and this guy, Night Line Art, says that sucks. Animation seems like it would work well in remote. Having everything centered in one town seems like all to do is hinder potential talent. That's true. Absolutely. A lot of American talent is lost because they can't afford the price you have to pay to join the LA industry and live within it. Studios like Yoda, Powerhouse, and Titmouse help, but we need more. I think that is going to happen. I've said it before. I think it's going to happen because, especially with the internet now, remote work is easier than it's ever been. A lot of these LA studios are working with studios overseas anyway. So it's not that difficult to be like, well, let's base a studio in an affordable part of the country. Okay, so we actually can pay people what would be considered a living wage, even if it's less than they would be making in LA. If you move it to like Nebraska or something, people can afford to live there. And let's work with studios overseas to get the actual animation done, just like they do in LA. So having a studio in Atlanta to me makes total sense, because Atlanta is cheaper than LA. As far as I know, unless the rents have gone up astronomically, Atlanta is cheaper. But, hey, what do I know? I don't work for Cartoon Network. So Magna Galena says it's upper management that prefers centralization. Any creator animator will tell you living in LA is absolute hell. Yes, have a lot of friends in LA. They wish they were not in LA, but they enjoy working. And, unfortunately, that's just that mindset. And I think it's going to have to change, that you have to live in Los Angeles because that's where all the producers are and that's where all the talent is. And that's why, we had kind of a cottage industry pop up in Texas, with the anime dub studios, and then you had Rooster Teeth and all that. But it looks like Rooster Teeth might even get, kind of shunted off to California. Again, Transformers was produced out of California. I think we need more independent studios, absolutely. And I think if the demand for animated content continues to grow, partially because of the pandemic and just the fact that people love cartoons, they love anime, and it's become a thing, then I think you'll be able to work anywhere, really. I think we'll see more bubbles pop up across the country, across the world, pockets of animators working together in unlikely places, probably working with other animators in other countries. I think it's really a pretty cool prospect. I think that could absolutely happen. I mean, geez, even going back to the original Avatar series on Nickelodeon, you, as a voice actor, you don't even need to be in the same room as everyone else. Now, it's helpful, absolutely, to have a recording session together, but the kid who played Aang, he was in, I think, Canada, and they set him up with a satellite system, and he actually phoned it in. He was not in the studio with the rest of the actors in California, as I understand it. So I think we're going to see more and more of this. I really do. And I think it's pretty exciting, though, because there is a lot of talent that's being lost because they're not in the right place. And we're looking at what's going on in animation right now, and it is very, very inbred. It's a very inbred industry because it is a small group of people who either grew up in California or they relocated to California. They went to one of like 2 or 3 schools and they hire their friends. And it is kind of a bubble, kind of like how the comic book industry, everything's being dictated by what people in Portland and Brooklyn think, what they like, what their tastes are. And they're ignoring the entire middle of the country. And that's going on with animation right now, too. There could be some phenomenally talented animators out there or creators out there that are getting lost because they do live in, like, Nebraska. They have no desire to move to California or even Texas. But now the possibility is there that you can live anywhere. Look at these YouTube channels that have blown up. Some of these big animators are based in very unlikely places like Arizona. So it's totally possible. The worst thing that can happen, I think, to a lot of these people is they go Hollywood. Like a lot of these YouTubers, they go Hollywood. They're like, okay, well, let's, we get to a certain size, and then they all move to LA. Let's go to LA because that's where everybody is. I got news for you. Everybody's running away from LA. They're running away. Be like George Lucas. Work with California, work with Hollywood, but stay the hell out of it. And this is coming from a guy who spent half his childhood in California. I lived in the Bay Area half my childhood, and I ping-ponged back and forth between the East Coast and California. And I moved out of California like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and I never went back. Other than to visit and to, we'd go to Disneyland or whatever, and go out to LA here and there. But I would never live out there. I would never go back, especially now. It's way too expensive. It's not the same state it was when I grew up. It's gone batshit crazy, and it's just not worth it. So, I think we need more people who are going to work outside the system, because I think a lot of these studios are going to consolidate. And I think most of the opportunity is going to be independent creators. whether it's comics or animation or whatever. I think it's going to be up to independent studios to create the kind of content that people used to look at the big studios for. But, you know, we're not getting it from them anymore, so make your own. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll be back later. All right, guys. See you then.